I was talking the other day about the abundance, and I don't think it's just farm life. I think it's just life on this planet as human beings, and this planet was designed for us, and somehow our focus has been taken away from the design and put on, I don't know, Kim Kardashian's rear end or something. And we're missing the point. So I was talking about the abundance. And if we break it down to just the numbers, it will hit home. And I think that this abundance, oh, I was disconnected for a while. Kingfisher, right there, you see him? I don't know if you saw him. I don't know how I started thinking about this, but like last year, it was time to rebuild the area for the chickens. And the chickens are pretty important to us. But last year, I think my mindset towards the chickens was, well, it provides something for the little kids to do. You know, the little kids can go out and pick up the eggs and, yeah, you know, chickens. That's rudimentary homesteading is keeping chickens. But something about it. All these forms of life have like hidden abundant capabilities. So I rebuilt the chicken house, and this is it right here. This was all completed last summer, and some of it even this year was completed. And it's on this building here that was initially going to just be storage for tractors, and it's a long story, but anyway, that's the forge now, and I keep the majority of the tools in there. This here is the observation tower. Every farm should have one of those. You want to sit up there and observe. It's actually the communication tower, because that's where the farm gets to talk to me when I'm talking to it all day long saying, you will do this, and then it tells me that no, we won't, we're doing this. But the abundance factor in here is, this was the new chicken yard that I built. And it's not really how people do things, so it was different. Got a pretty high fence on it, so they can't fly out. It's adjoined by another field right here. And then there's room for another one there. It's not built yet, but it's going to be. And what I did is I planted trees right on this fence line, hybrid popple trees. Can't see them, but they're planted, and they should come up, and they grow fast. So we're going to add a little bit of shade into this area. And I know this is just chickens, and you might be looking at it like, hey, we know all about chickens, but okay, this field, this little chicken pen, I guess, not a field, this is where they just came off of. And I had this planted in rye, and it was thick. When we first put them in, they couldn't even get in there. They were just in this little area right here in front where they came out of the house. There's two entrances to the house. This one's open now. So I got this gate shut, and they're not in there anymore because they completely took everything off except the stuff that they couldn't reach. And so now I will get in there and I'll till that. People freak out, we're rototillers, but I'm going to till it. I'm going to put some straw in before I till it and till it all down so it holds quite a bit of air. And then I'll throw some rye over it and call it good. And then I moved them into here. Now this we planted with kale. And I'm not kidding. There's like maybe 2 handfuls of kale out here. And look at how much grew. And look at how fast it grew. This stuff is up to my crotch right here. And it's this gorgeous kale. Look at that. That is so nice. And if you like kale, this will be some of the best kale you ever ate because it's got so much nutrient in it. And the nutrient came from these guys. So there's 75 or so in here. And you can see how they work their way into it. Like, they haven't been over there in the corner. They've got a line, and as it gets eaten down, they move in a little further, This stuff that's growing here, this is amaranth. We don't plant this. This is provided for us, but you'd see that seed head right there. They go crazy for this once it turns brown. They love it. But you can see how they kind of work their way in here. They've been in here for off and on for almost a month, and this is as far as they've gotten. So here it is, August, end of August. How far will they get? I don't know. I don't know if they'll get far enough to really, but then the snow will come down over it. Will the kale continue to grow under the snow? Possibly. We'll see. 75 chickens in there. I'll tell you how it works out. People that are doing chickens think that it's just going to be exercise and futility because you're spending so much on feed, and even if you sell your eggs for $5, you're still just kind of getting past. I mean, it's nothing to write home about as far as profiting, but profit is a measure of success in farming. So we give these guys about a bag of feed a week, and that's commercial feed. Well, there's a mill around here that makes it, and it comes with a tag on it, and it's, we don't use genetically modified corn and all that good stuff, but it's got the nutrient pack or mineral pack in it, and on and on and on, all the salts and things that they need. And when they're getting that, they lay eggs pretty good, pretty consistently, nice eggs. If you cut that off from them and all they had was just kale and amaranth and lamb's quarter eat, egg production drops right off. So a bag of feed is about $10, and they're getting one a week. 75 chickens in there, you're talking probably 50 eggs a day, so that's 4 dozen at $5. So $20 in egg sales, and this is just rough numbers. 20 times 7, $140 in eggs, and they're getting a $10 bag of feed. And they're only going through a $10 bag of feed because of all this forage that's out here. And they're never going to catch up with this forage. They're never going to catch up with it. I would have to put more chickens in there. I'd have to build more roosts in there in order for them to catch up with this. And if they did catch up with this, then I'm swinging this gate into here. So, and then I'm going to add a third one. And our chicken operation is on, let's say, 200 square feet. And it's generating like that. Like out of nothing, it's generating. And those are rough numbers, but you can see what I mean. It does work. More evidence to dispel the spell of there ain't no money in farming. That's a spell. That's a spell from the pit of hell, right? That's not true. There is money in farming. Not that this, what I'm doing is all about money, but it's got to be partially about money because money is what we use to pay the bills with. So it's got to work. If it doesn't work, then you might as well be golfing, unless you're Tiger Woods. Then it'll pay the bills. All right, so this is abundance, and I'm only using 200 square feet. Let's say I increased this to 500 square feet and had 1,000 chickens in here. I mean, we would have to, it becomes a legitimate income stream. Actually, it's legitimate now. It's more than legitimate. All right, so there it is. I said I'd do that. Remember, anyone can